In The Art of Public Speaking, Dale Carnegie declares script reading the lowest form of public speaking. Script reading is just too formal. It's too scripted. It suggests you don't know what you're talking about and you don't need scripts. You can do better. How can you do better? First of all, you need to shift mentally. I want you to let go of the desire to be perfect and instead embrace excellence. It's okay if you don't convey everything in exactly the right order that you intended, that you don't use exactly the precise phrases that you had planned. It's okay, so long as you transfer the ideas in your mind into your audience's mind that you intend to transfer, you're a public speaking success. So perfect, you're not going to be perfect, so let go of that expectation and embrace excellence instead. If you do this, and if you let go of the script, you're actually going to be a more effective speaker because it'll make you appear as if you're more of an authority, that you actually know what you're talking about. And you will, because you will have studied your message and you will have organized your message, because if you have to remember it and you just can't read it off of the page, it's going to be much clearer. It's going to be more logically organized because it has to be for you to understand it. The benefit for your audience is, if it's better organized for you, it'll be better organized for them. And so you're going to be more effective, not only because you're more credible and your audience will open and be more receptive to what you have to say, but also because your message itself is going to be clear and better organized. Now, how can you organize your message? You could do it sequentially. If you're teaching something that happens in a number of steps, of course, just start at the beginning and teach them the steps. Chronologically, if it's some sort of a historical presentation and a sequence of events occurred, start at the beginning and work your way forward. If it's conceptual, you could start with the concepts and then give examples. You could have the more foundational concepts and then the concepts that build on those. Interconnected organ systems. There's all sorts of different ways to do it, but think about a logical way to present your material and to organize it. One way is to ask a series of whys and hows. For example, with this presentation, I asked myself, why should my audience care anything at all about going scriptless? And so I thought, well, I'll quote Dale Carnegie. He's the authority on public speaking. That'll give them a really good reason why if they don't already accept the fact that scripts are beneath them and they can definitely do better. But then the question becomes, how can they do this? Well, by shifting mentally, accepting excellence rather than perfection. But why should they do that? Well, it's going to make them more credible because it'll make it appear at least as if they know what they're talking about, which they will, because their message will be better organized. How can they organize their message? Well, they can do it sequentially or chronologically or by asking a series of whys and hows. And now we've came back around to the actual thing I'm teaching you right now, which causes a tear in the space-time continuum. I know politicians and news conference presenters read scripts, but you are not giving a State of the Union address or updating the press on the status of the Pink Panther. You're a public speaking rock star, and rock stars don't need scripts. Initially, they're probably going to look like sentences and paragraphs, and that's okay. But as you get closer to the actual presentation and you streamline things, you want to make it look more like this. You might have your specific and your scripted opener and scripted closer, and you may even have some phrases scattered that you definitely want to include, but otherwise it should be a skeleton such that you have your primary points, subpoints, and the sub-subpoints, and it's logically arranged. This isn't going to come out perfectly the first time. In my case, this required moving stuff around, decided these points it actually belonged over here, took away some of the language so there wouldn't be as much fluff, so it'd be easier to understand. For all presentations that I give, all of them, I have a bullet point list like this. However, this isn't what I take to the stage. This is what I take to the stage. If I actually go up to the lectern, I'll have a bulleted list of the primary points, the main points, usually written in my own handwriting like this, without too many details at all, because the few times that I've taken something like this to the stage and laid it on the lectern, there's just too much crap here. I can't read all those sentences, and so I look down, I don't know where my place is. But if I have this, I can easily see I need to remind them of the excellence over perfection point. I need to talk about the space-time continuum rip. So, hope that helps.
Okay, my turn.
Try it one more time.
Okay.
All right.